in a bag. Science in a bag.
Testy test, testy test.
Yay! I'm so excited about the show today. Hey, we're starting at 11 o'clock, which is really soon to be honest. But as you know, if you've been watching us for how long, we like to check everything's working. So Alan's got his headphones on, checking that our sound's coming through, that everything's working. I wish you could see the screen that I could see right now because we actually have a special guest joining us today. So excited! So fingers crossed everybody that all works. It's very scientific, isn't it? But we have tested it out.
We have tested it out.
It should work. So there's a few people that are already watching. That is so cool. Yeah, so we've got 2 more minutes, Alan.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the picture in picture off and this mic. We're just going to play some music and show a live screen.
At one
so
moment,
all
please,
is
Alan.
good.
I just wanted to share some amazing news. Our jokes of the day, people love them. We worked out how to like cut the joke of the day and put it up. We put it on YouTube Shorts, and overnight 250 people also laughed at our jokes. Made me really happy. Sorry, I just, you know, you get what you can. Alright, you can turn me off now, Alan. I just wanted to share the good news.
Science in a bag. 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 Science in a bag.
Cool. A tamari e te whānau, ko Emily aho.
Call Alan, I hope.
It is so good to be here. I am so excited about today. Te wiki o te reo Māori this week. We're in Mangere. Been quite inspired by the project. Saying where you're from a little bit better than maybe you did before with pronunciation, or learning what the actual name of where you is. Where you are? Where you is?
Yeah, where you is.
I can't even speak English. So we're in Tamaki Makaurau. We're still in lockdown, but it's so great to have you here. Very excited.
So this week we are going to explore lots of stuff, and it's all fueled from your questions that have been popping up over the past few weeks, and we're going to answer one of the biggest questions we get asked the most about Oobleck being solid or a liquid. So we'll speak about that later as well. But also in the show, we have got a very, very, very special guest.
Yes.
We've got a very special guest joining us. I'm going to give you a little clue of who they are. They are a teacher. They teach here in
You can do it.
They teach here in Tamaki Makaurau.
Woo!
And I'm not going to say much more. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
No, don't ruin the surprise.
But hint, I would also like to thank Miss Stevens again. Mrs. Stevens again for doing our comments and helping us out there. And so, you know, and special guest, whoever that could be. And of course, there will be Joke of the Day.
Joke of the day. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, do us a favour and subscribe. That's nice.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, make sure you like the page. It's really helpful. And a massive thank you. We have some people who have donated to us to support us through lockdown, through our site on Ko-fi. Or is it Coffee? I don't know.
F-E.
Dash hash.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, there's always links in the comments, but we really appreciate that. It's really nice. Lockdown kinda is not great for live performance, as you can imagine, so we really appreciate it. Right. So last week, I'm trying to do two things at once with my hands. We got asked about Oobleck, which is basically corn flour slime, right? And to be honest, we get asked about this a lot. It's like one of the classic experiments, right? Oobleck is super weird. Number one, I think it was named after a Dr. Seuss book or something. You can tell me about that in the comments. I'm not actually sure, but I think it is. Also, it's a very simple mixture. It's only water and corn flour. That's all it is. I'd give you the recipe, but it's one of those ones you have to put corn flour in and then a bit of water and just see how you go, to be honest. Alan's actually got a couple of pictures of me making it this morning, so we're going to have a look at those. It was named after a Dr. Seuss book. Thanks. I've got a bit creative, Alan. I used quite a lot of the food colouring. There's not all the food colouring I used, but after I put those drops in, it looked like this.
Yeah.
I think that is so pretty.
Now, Emily, what I like about this is
really like that.
You're trying to make a slime to answer the question about is it a liquid or a solid, but in doing that, you explored other parts of science and art as well. Like you've even done a little bit of colour theory this morning.
Oh, just give me a gold star right now.
I think that's fantastic.
I was in my pyjamas while I did this morning, and it wasn't that long ago. But anyway, what we got in the end, I did add more food colouring because if you've ever played with food colouring and stuff, like baking, it kind of disappears, like it gets quite diluted, so I added heaps more. So, I'm so excited. So, corn flour and water, you can see. Oh, do you want to put on bench cam out?
Yeah, okay.
How exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, there we are. So, do love a bit of bench cam. So, oh, that's nice and close. So you can see that it pours and it takes the shape of the container, right? So when things pour and take the shape of a container, they are classified as a liquid, right? But we get asked if it's a solid or a liquid because it does behave a bit weird. It does have weird properties. So shall we pour those into the Trinity dish, Alan?
Oh, right, yeah.
This is what we call this dish because it's jointly owned between myself, Ellen, and my mother.
So Emily, the state of matter of this oobleck or
Yep.
cornflower slime is a liquid, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Is that correct? So this is a liquid. Okay, I've got it. There we are. Because,
Is there any more in that other one? Or we've got it all?
no, that's it.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to totally touch it. We've got a cloth ready, right? It's stuff is, once you start touching it, it's, oh, hello, you can see me. So the thing is about this material is that it behaves differently to forces than other liquids.
Ah.
Okay, so in a moment, if you've played with it before, you're going to know this, but it's really fun. So when we're thinking like scientists, it's all about sort of guessing what's going to happen, making predictions, testing things out, seeing what happens, which people have been doing for centuries, by the way, before science was invented, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. So what I'm going to do, in a moment, I'm going to punch the oobleck, and you make a prediction, you can put it in the comments. What do you think is going to happen? What usually happens when you punch liquid?
Ooh.
So I'm going to just stir it up a bit just in case.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it kind of, oh, it's so satisfying. Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Stevens, for putting stuff in the comments about viscosity. You're a genius. Yeah, normally it keeps the same viscosity, you're absolutely right. But this stuff is a little bit weird. Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna punch it. I hope you've made a prediction. What usually happens, Alan? You tell me.
You make a big mess.
Yeah, are you ready? Yeah, that camera's quite close. Okay, are you ready? Here I go. Everybody watching. Can you hear that as well?
Yeah.
There is no splash, people. There is no splash at all. It kind of sticks to my hand a bit, but it definitely behaves.
Can I have a go?
I know you can. Now I'm all messy. Can I have the cloth, please?
Look at that.
Oh, it's on my jeans. It's so fun, right?
That's amazing.
Do you want to swap the camera over, Ellen?
Yep. Yeah.
It's so cool. So Oobleck is called a non-Newtonian fluid, okay? So it's on sort of a different, yeah, it does sound really hard. It's in a different category, okay? So there's quite a few liquids that are classified as non-Newtonian fluids, and you could totally research that and find out there's lots of things in your house that behave like this. So when you apply a force, they resist.
Yep.
That's basically it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's cool, yeah.
And this is one of the most favourite sort of scientific demos and experiments like in the land of primary schools, I'd say. It's so satisfying to touch, and it resists when you hit it with a force. Now, Mrs. Stevens also talked about viscosity, which is quite hard to say, but easier to say than spell. So that's all about the thickness or the gloopiness of it. Alan made up that word this week. I like it. Gloopiness.
Gloopiness, poriness.
Poriness, that's right. The pory, yeah. Okay, so it depends how pory it is.
Yeah.
Don't put that in an exam. Alright, so you can see this pours and takes the shape of its container. So that's a liquid. It's not a solid or a gas. It's a liquid. And that flows pretty nicely, right?
Yeah.
And we saw when we poured this stuff, it didn't flow quite the same way. Pory. And, oh, Auntie Pam's finest. Living the dream.
Thanks, Auntie Pam.
So maple syrup is one yummy, and we don't have much left. But we thought that's quite a good example of, well, that's thicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more, how would it, more viscous? I don't actually know.
You would compare it together.
Compare it.
So,
It's more, less pory.
I would say that the maple syrup has got a higher viscosity than the water. Or the water has got a lower viscosity than the maple syrup.
Easy for you to say.
Yep.
Also shampoo. Like there's heaps of liquids in your house that have different viscosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for asking those questions.
Yep, and we really do appreciate all of your questions and that. Now, the question I want to talk about is from someone, I think their name was Nico Queen. They
Probably not their real name, but
shared
maybe.
Nico Queen, they shared a few questions last week, and one was, what is your favourite topic in science? What is your favourite topic in science? That, to me, is a huge question and could mean so many things. And I would say that's more of a kind of thing I'd love to sit down with people and just talk about that and explore that. But I'm going to answer it in this show as well. The thing I love the most, my favourite topic in science, is thinking that since the beginning of time, our species, the animals we are, have been fascinated with looking at the world around them, making observations and adapting and building around that. And that absolutely blows my mind. And there is evidence all around the globe that since our species has been around, we have been doing that. And you know, when we're in schools, I talk about this here, this Pounamu necklace and this toki and that, and what it does is it shows us that there was a group of people interested in taking a material, understanding it and shaping it into something like this. And they made this so it was a tool to shape and make other materials. Other materials. And that is huge. That is a huge bit of how our species has developed. Again, around the globe, but there's examples here in New Zealand that there was people doing it. I'm gonna say 900 plus, and that's a big plus. 900 plus years ago they was doing this. And again, as much as it's a global thing, let's bring it back into New Zealand. 900 plus years ago there was people navigating, not just being blown in by the wind and the tides. They was navigating from a place to this place, so that's huge. And they were setting up a civilization, and this is way before the Europeans rocked up with what they call science. And remember, the word science is only 300-ish years old. Science is only 300-ish years old, and in a way it funnels all that stuff that happened before it that we spoke about, and it brings it together and we move on from there. But everything can fit in and around that, and science is quite open. And so to answer your question, the thing I love is the scientific process is we make observations. We test it out. We try it out. And no, we make predictions, we test it out, and we make observations. Okay? And then we keep going. And we've been doing that since the beginning of time. And as a result, our species stand out because we have built tools, we have built civilizations, we've built political structures, currency, and all kinds of things.
Guess what, Alan? What? Yes, we have. But Mrs. Stevens also reminds us, and I saw this on TV as well, that Kia, that bird that had no beak, and it's adapted tools and stuff to help you. So there are examples in other species. You're absolutely right.
I just want to speak to that. There is
so cool.
There is a thing that goes around that we are the only species that uses tools, and I thought that's not true for a long time. Otters use rocks.
I love otters so
to
much.
help them out, and they will pick and choose rocks. And I found it interesting that Kia chose certain rocks. And there's even fish that will take on a material that they spray out to help them move stuff around, almost like a sandblaster, jet blaster.
Oh yeah. I do love a good doco. But Alan, you do love tools, as you can see from the tool wall here. Which brings us quite a nice little segue. Alan's made a little video, another workbench stories little video. We're going to watch that, and then we're going to come back with our special guest. We're going to look at the comments. So if you've got any comments about today's show or any questions or ideas for themes coming up, put them in the comments now. We'll have a look and enjoy the video.
Science in a Van.
Kia ora, ko alana ho. And in this little metal box here, I've got something very, very useful, and I absolutely love them. And we're going to explore them in this little workbench story. So in this tin, I keep my cardboard stencils. They're all pieces of cardboard with letters and numbers cut out of them. The set you see here is my medium set, but I do have a really cute small set as well. And then if we've got medium and small, we must have a large set as well. And as you can see, as I flick through this set, I've used these quite a lot for a lot of different things. If you watch Science in a Van live regularly, you would have seen this table, and I use paint pens and the stencils to mark on that. And if Science in a Van has been to your school, you might have seen our prop boxes, which I've used spray paint and stencils to mark so we know which show is in which box. I'm also a busking magician, and using spray paint and the stencils and an old painting, I made this, which I photographed and resized and got printed as my business cards. Hope you enjoyed this workbench story and a little delve into my collection of stencils. I really do enjoy using stencils. If you use stencils in projects on your own, please put in the comments how you use them and what you use them for. And if you're watching thinking, oh, I could stencil, put that in the comments as well. We'd love to hear your projects, but most of all, be like a proton and stay positive.
Science in a Van.
Hope you enjoyed that video. As you can see, I've moved the computer. Oh, I wonder why. We've got our special guest. So we've never done this before. We're using this app called Melon app. So we're going to bring on somebody from their bubble to our bubble. So we're going to try it now. I hope you're ready.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey.
Yeah. Welcome. Morena, everyone. It's so good to see you. Yeah, I know, it's so good, right? Carter, where? I've been a bit hyped today because I've been a bit like, because I've been so excited for this bit of the show. So welcome. This is our famous Mrs. Stevens, who we talk about all the time because thank you so much for being in the comments and everything. But please tell us a little bit more about yourself and maybe your class before we start, because I think it's really cool.
I teach Year 5 in East Auckland at Mellons Bay. They've been amazing for e-learning. We've just completed our speeches this week, and they're doing really well. Yeah, no, we're just a fantastic bunch. We're quite sporty. We enjoy PE with Joe during lockdown and in class.
Are you serious? Like online?
We like our social things. Yeah. And yeah,
teachers are amazing.
That's about us. I'm sure the kids are watching now and listening. But
I feel like all of them are commenting. That's so cool. They're all getting online now. They're very excited. I think that's so good. It's been such a joy having you as part of the team. And as soon as we started like connecting and stuff, like we've been to your school quite a few times, but this feels different. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to tell us what's your favorite experiment that you like to do with your class. Have you got a favorite?
I do. I have quite a few favorite experiments. So this is my 4th year teaching. And the time where we get really messy and really kind of have our big time is Science Week, which unfortunately was last week or the week before for us.
We were actually booked for that.
This class that I have at the moment have had our really rich science week. But when we do it, some of my favorite experiments, and you've already talked about it today, my absolute favorite is Oobleck. Love
Oh my
talking
gosh,
about
yeah.
viscosity. Love watching it go hard and runny, and I just love it. Last year we put it onto speakers and we watched it bounce up to the
Oh,
vibrations of
did
the
you get
music,
that
which was
working?
really fun. Yeah, sure did. The speakers no longer work, but we got the experiment working.
Do you have a video of that? I'd
But
love
my
to see that.
second, oh, probably my second favorite experiment is the Alka-Seltzer lava lamps, where
Oh,
you have
yeah.
the oil and the coloured water, and you drop in the Alka-Seltzer, and it makes carbon dioxide bubbles, and they attach to
very
it, and it
cool.
comes up and down, and looks a bit like a lava lamp. So
Yeah,
those are my
I know the
absolute
one.
two favourite experiments. But I love science. I'm particularly into vaccines at the moment. Quite interesting learning about that in our current climate.
Yes. That's a
Yeah.
great idea to learn about it, because the more we know, the more we're informed, the better choices we can make. That's a really cool part of science, actually. They're just so cool. And those two, like the Oobleck and the Alka-Seltzer lava lamp, they're both experiments that are kind of surprising, eh? Like they do things you don't expect, and those are my favourite kind of experiments too, actually.
Do you
I
think
love an
with those?
experiment, and then we like to write about it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Nice.
cool. Excellent. Cool. Excellent. So, I do believe that you have a question for
Yeah.
us.
Do you have?
Do you have any questions for us?
I have questions. Yes, so my question was, when we do science, and when we do science at home, if we're
Yeah.
just using stuff from around the house, why is it, if it's just normal household stuff, why is it important to make sure that we're, using safety procedures and getting our parents involved and
Oh my
telling
gosh,
them
can I
about
answer
it?
that?
What
I
have a
can
great
happen from just the
example.
normal experiment, the normal ingredients when they join?
Yeah. I kind
Yeah.
of feel like food ingredients you can be pretty safe
Well,
with.
yeah.
But I have a friend who was moving house, and she thought she was really clever, and she really wanted to clean the bathroom really well. And she used all the stuff, all the cleaning stuff to clean the bathroom, and actually, because of the fumes, she got really sick. But she had no idea that that combo of chemicals could actually cause a problem. And there's just heaps of stuff that we just don't know, right? So there is a level that you have to be a bit aware, and it's always better, more brains on the thing, right? So if you do have a spare adult around, there's just two of you going, oh, actually, maybe that's not a good idea. I think it's really helpful, but you were going to say something too, because it's a great question.
It's a huge question. The other thing is like Emily said, like even when we mix vinegar and baking soda together, we are producing carbon dioxide. If we produce enough carbon dioxide in a small space, we push the oxygen out of the way, because carbon dioxide is heavier than air, and we need oxygen to breathe. So even things like that. But if we take a cup of vinegar and baking soda here sitting in the garage, we are perfectly safe. But it just shows that in its extremes, there could be complications and issues with that. Same with breathing helium in through a balloon. That can actually be very dangerous. People have fainted from that. So we do need to think. And the other thing that Em kind of got towards as well is, now and then when we're doing an experiment or we're doing something, we need to make sure that it's safe for the people around us. The people around us will need to help us as well. But then also bear in mind that because you know what you're doing and what's going on, the other people around you might not. So we do experiment where we heat up a drinks can with a little bit of water in it on a hot plate. When people walk into their school hall, they're surprised to see a hot plate, and they react differently to that hot plate than they would if it was in the kitchen. And the fact that it's got a drinks can on it is very unusual. But if they touched that hot drinks can, it would really hurt them, because it's really hot. And we need to bear that in mind as well. So when we're kind of doing stuff, we need to be a bit aware of what's going on. And my best bit of advice is there's nothing more scary than if we don't know it, we don't know it, which can be interesting, and we're doing stuff to learn. But if you really don't know, leave it alone.
And the other thing I would say, especially in lockdown, but any time, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're frozen a bit. Oh, she's moving again. It's exciting.
Sorry, I was just saying
No,
sometimes you might have two normal ingredients, but when you put them together, they react in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's interesting that we just got a comment on saying, isn't this why schools have science labs? I think that's a whole nother combo, because I think you can do science anywhere, but people often think science is all about just making explosions, but it's all about the process. So you can guess and try things out, like in all sorts of situations, right? How far, I'm going to predict how far I can kick this ball when I apply a force, you know, let's try it out. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. And also what I was going to say in lockdown, resources you've got to anytime. Food resources are really precious. So it's always good to communicate with your whānau, with your household. Well, if I use up all this flour, maybe the adult in my household had plans to use that flour. So you want to keep your bubble happy. So it's just great to communicate, because I know lots of kids at home have parents that are working really hard and really busy, and they're in the kitchen. I could name a couple of kids that are always doing this, but I won't right now, which is actually really great. But I know that they communicate with their parents to know what resources they can use, which is really cool.
If someone used the last tea bag in the house, there would be a big reaction.
I predict that, actually. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I've just pulled out Alan's headphone. Oh my gosh, we're so technically able.
So we really do appreciate the work you do at your school and the work that you've done for us. And I'm really keen to kind of keep our connection and relationship going with you and your one. It is class 5, isn't it?
Well, year
Yep.
5.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have
year
5 and class 5.
That makes it easy, right?
Yeah. 5.
Well
well, yeah. That's cool. And I do have one more question. We was supposed to visit your school over this time, but unfortunately we haven't been able to. We're hoping to reschedule it, but the question I have for you,
important.
and it's a big one, is what is your favourite type of biscuit?
My favourite type of biscuit is the double-coated Tim Tams.
Double-coated Tim
double.
Tams. Excellent.
They're in the blue
okay.
packet. They've been dipped in chocolate twice.
I'm writing it down.
We're writing that
Blue
down
packet.
because we will. Yeah. Whenever we get to your school, at whatever point we get to your school, we will bring you a pack of those biscuits for morning tea.
Oh, fantastic!
It's going to be coming out of Alan's wages.
I have one last thing to say.
Yeah, sure.
It was just stay like my blood type and be positive.
Hey, there we go.
I'm so glad you got that in there. That's
We
genius.
should have put you on Joke of the Day.
Oh, guest
There
spot
we-
for Joke of the
There
Day.
we go.
Well, I'm going to take you off the live stream now so you can relax, because you're working very hard all the time. But thank you. I know Rach did a great job.
If you liked that little chat, please let us know in the comments. Give us thumbs up. Give us
Yeah.
love hearts. It'd be awesome to know if you enjoyed that.
That's so cool. Okay. Kakite.
Kakite matiwa.
Matiwa. That was so fun.
That was awesome. We had a person in
I
our
know.
house. Kind
You
of
know what
strange.
it's like in lockdown, eh? You talk to somebody else, I get like overly excited. It's quite funny. And I'm going to try not to look at myself. I'm going to try and look at the camera. But it's really great because I can see the comments. Now, Wooey Adventures. I have a feeling I might not... I know who that is. Wooey. Hi. Virtual hug. Lisa and Natalie, I'm pretty sure.
Hey.
Tell me if I'm wrong. It's so great you're here. Thank you for watching. That's so fun.
Maybe. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we haven't got, we've had lots of people saying hello. My sis Gretel said kia ora Gretel. It's so nice connecting with people over this once a week. It's really, really cool. But that's pretty much the comments. Alan, have you got anything else?
Yes.
Yes is the answer to that.
So I'm just reading what your script says because I don't want to take your point.
Oh, isn't that nice? Hi, Faisala, we've gone international.
Cool, excellent. So, to answer your question then, the only thing I would say is we're probably going to do a show next week. And that we probably will do a show a week after, and then whatever happens, it'll be the school holidays, so I think we all deserve a break on that. So we'll probably do a show for the next 2 weeks, but we'll keep you updated with that. Next week probably we'll do a show, week after we'll just see what happens, but it is the end of term. So that's pretty much it from me. You got anything else then?
Oh, Ellen, I do. I'm excited. Because it's Joke of the Day time!
Joke of the day.
Okay, I haven't heard this at all.
So Emily spoke about Oobleck at the beginning of the show.
I did.
Oobleck fits into a category of slime, so I thought I'd do a joke about slime.
Wow, on point, Ellen.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with it.
How does slime use the internet? How does slime use the internet?
I can safely say I have not heard this joke. How does slime use the internet? Don't you love how I wait like I'm gonna guess what it is and I never do? It's like Christmas cracker time.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, I hope I don't forget the punchline.
Oh, look, I have no idea.
So,
how does slime use the internet?
it uses Google.
Yeah, okay. Goo. Oh, goo! Oh, yeah. I hope Lucas laughed at that more than I did. I'm so sorry. I'm a bit slow today. It's all the excitement. Google. That's good, Alan. That's good.
Too late.
It's too late. Okay.
So, my friends, we'll join you next week. But Emily was going to say something. What was she going to say?
I was just going to say, be like a proton.
And stay positive.
Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Bye.
Hi there, Van fans. Here at Science in a Van, Emily and I really enjoy delivering our Science in a Van live content.
We have heard great feedback from teachers during this lockdown about how they're using Science in a Van Live for their online learning.
Parents are given thanks for the fun and laughter we brought into their homes, as well as bringing science into their home teaching.
We appreciate you. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and for every moment that you've enjoyed our content.
If you want to physically contribute to us at Science in a Van developing live content, then look in the description below for a link.